1 2 1 2.
That sounds good. Yeah, Josh, you're coming in immediately. When you move, just give me
So
sorry about that. We had troubles with the live stream.
All right, so we are looking at Twiggy here, and she is jamming. She had just made it out with lead jam. She is actually, this is her first time jamming for the Jugs, and she made it around, and she's going to catch up to that pivot who just took the Butte, Montana jammer panty. She went ahead and called it off there. So we're going to reset for the next jam. Again, we have Toaster Brutal starting for the jams as she's going to start this jam here for the Juggernauts. There's a little play on the jam line as the Butte, Montana jammer makes a play. So the Butte, Montana jammer has made it out. Toaster Brutal is in the box. Can you?
Yes.
And we're seeing the Juggernauts holding that jammer. We have to keep pack, so they are dropping jammers just to keep that 20 feet. She's made it out, so she got those first 4 points.
Scoreboard is Jackson is up 8, Copper City 4.
So that was Heidi Ho for the Butte, Montana Copper City Queens. This is about her I believe this is her. She's been skating for them for a little over a year now, and she is fast, is what it seems like. Back in, we have Twiggy. This is now her second jam for the Juggernauts ever, and she decides to take the outside. She's coming in. All right, good. So we have the Juggernauts were able to hit that number 19 back, and she is forced to take off her panty and make a pivot pass. Twiggy's here. The jam is still not out. That's Honey Guns.
If you guys haven't been paying attention to my facial expressions, there has been some good hits this game. Seems like they just called off the play.
Yeah, so right there, the jammer was able to get out and was coming around. Twiggy made a smart play to go ahead and call it off before any points were made on her lead jam. That's her second lead jam and her second time jamming for the Juggernauts overall.
They're getting right up into position. They cannot seem to catch a break. Ooh.
Big knockdown from Trixie Titanium, and she has to go back so that she doesn't track cut. We have 91 on the Butte, Montana Copper City Queens. She is the baby of the team is what I hear, but she's fearless. She's knocked out. She has to go back. Trixie Titanium making lead. Going around, Trixie Titanium is visiting skater for the Jugs, coming out of Idaho Falls for the Portneuf Valley Bruisers. She's coming in. Halicious Kate has still not made it out, so Trixie has an opportunity to make points. Here she's making a choice here. She's pushing on that wall. It's a strong wall.
Nothing is breaking that. Oh, and there she goes.
That's her first pass with 4 points. She was able to get around those Butte, Montana blockers. Here we have the pivot with the panty now. Halicious Kate had to take off her panty, and she sent it.
Big impact right there. Maya, oh my.
Hanny Oakley now making the passes. All All right, Trixie Titanium makes it on the inside, and she's out. Nice little jump around, footwork on. She's now made it around 3 times. Hanny Oakley has to come back.
All right, and then going back to regulations and terms, is there any penalties or things you can't do? Or
Yeah, so a lot of times what you'll notice is that you won't see anyone getting hit directly in the back. So there's a middle portion of your back down the center where you're not going to be able to hit anyone. And then other than that, the chest, everywhere on the chest is fair game, and you want to guard your chest from the jammer especially, because she will hit you and she'll knock you down. We have Toaster Brutal. She made it out of the pack.
And she's zooming. Going back for round 2. She dodges the entire team and goes right to round number 3. And here she comes. There is no stopping her. Again! Oh, and she is out. She has to go back.
That's what we got now.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I love this angle.
She broke through, and she's calling off the play. Sweet.
Incredible footwork. You can tell that she just is strong and powerful.
Yeah, Jackson is sitting in a comfortable lead going 31-8. But regardless, I don't think Jackson should feel comfortable. The other team could come back any minute. All right, and what's going on here, Jesse? Tape?
We're just taking a little moment here to retape. So a lot of times what I was telling you about that rope that's underneath that tape, if you run over it, you tend to just cause the tape to come off. So we have people in the middle, usually our refs, that go out there and they help keep us safe and don't let us get tripped.
Nice. And if you are liking this live stream, please like, subscribe, and comment down some lovely thoughts about the Juggernauts and the Copper City Queens.
No, I like that. I actually agrees with what we're showing you now.
All right, it seems like the problem is fixed.
If you can get a shot of any of the pride people, that would be good. Those colorful
All right, Jesse, say anyone out here in the audience is interested in becoming a Juggernaut. What do we do?
So the first thing you want to do is you want to reach out to jhjrdrollerderby.com and you'll go to the contact page and go ahead and just reach out and say, hey, I want to play. How I got into it is I Facebook messaged actually the team, and Merciless Mamacita, she said, come on over, let's get you in practice. And the first day I was falling all over the place, but never looked back. They're amazing, and it's a great community to be a part of, and we welcome anyone.
It seems like they are ready to roll. Indeed. Back into position. Here they go. Strong wall from the Juggernauts, not letting And they got through number 19.
That's Honey Guns. She's been playing for about a year now, but there's Twiggy coming up fast behind her. This is her first bout. Again, first bout jamming, and I am so proud of her. Look at her go.
Oh, she called it off.
Twiggy was scaring her. That's a good thing. Twiggy is scaring her, coming up to make those points. Honey Guns had to call it off so that the Jugs didn't continue to get a lead over them.
Huge play. All right, Jesse. So say you reached out, you contacted the right people. Now, where do we get these skates?
There's not a lot of options in the area. A lot of times it's online, or you have to go out and you find it from Salt Lake City, as close as it gets. There's some places in Idaho Falls, but Bruise Boutique is the place we usually go to, which is on the East Coast. Out here, Toaster Brutal made it on the inside. She took everyone to the outside and went in. We have Halicious Kate, Miss Mel adjusted, and saved by the Mel, holding her back. She's making it through, but Steamer tried to catch her there. Here comes Toast again. She got pulled back, but here she goes on the outside, and now calling it off.
This game, man. I forget how intrigued I get into this sport.
It's really exciting. You just see them like moving and they're dodging, dip, dodge, and dodge, right?
Right.
And they're going around and they're just trying to make it through the pack. And what's kind of fun for the jammers is they're the center of attention. So they get everyone trying to get them. And those blockers absolutely holding them.
Number 9. Oh, number 76.
So that's Trixie Titanium, just made it out of the pack on the right side, on the outside. And we have Heidi Ho on the Butte, Montana team. She is not lead jam. She was held by our Miss Mel Adjusted. Trixie went ahead from the bench. The coaches had asked her to call it off, and they're able to see something a lot of times that the jammers can't, and just that they have to work dynamically with the coaches to be able to know when to call it off and when to make those smart plays. So we have Butte, Montana setting up for some offense on the outside. Twiggy is going to use that offense. Butte, Montana decides not to take it. And we have our Honey Guns pushing the Juggernauts forward. We have Steamer holding pack. Slam Chowder and Miss Mel Adjusted still in there. Unfortunately, Honey Guns got out as she made a nice play for the outside, pushing that pack apart. Twiggy not far behind.
Honey Guns needs to come in clutch and score.
A lot of times that'll be a tricky play is when you come in too hot to the pack. Sometimes you get knocked out slightly and have to go back. But she made a good call. She went ahead and called it off, making smart plays there.
All right.
Back on the jam line, we have Toaster Brutal and Halicious Kate. We have Toaster Brutal going to the inside, but Halicious Kate made it out on the outside.
And
Toaster Brutal
also broke through.
Toaster Brutal breaking through. She used Slayer as a truck and trailer getting through.
And Honey Bun's got a good play in. Calling it off. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That was a powerful move off the line from our jammers. Jammer on jammer action is fun. Slam Chowder holding strong. Being that defense. Keeping that 402 from actually going through. That is Heidi Ho who. And on our team here we have
Calling it off. For a one-sided game so far, Jackson's up 37, Copper City is 16. But regardless, if Jackson gets any comfortable here, Copper City could slap back any minute and make a comeback. I believe in that.
Really, this is not a big point differential because you're able to get 4 points on each pass. Twiggy making it out on the outside going in. She's lead jam and going fast. I think she can score before the next jammer gets through. Oh, that seemed like a directional there, but no call was made. She calls it out before any points are scored. We have the Butte, Montana Honey Guns trying to make an apex jump right there at the end, but got knocked down by our blockers. Halicious Kate and Toaster Brutal. Halicious Kate taking the outside for that O. A lot of times you'll see the blockers set up in some tripods, and that's because triangles are the strongest shape. Halicious Kate gets knocked out by Miss Maladjusted. Toaster Brutal made it out, and she's going around. She gets a nice little rest here before she gets back into the pack. Pack is moving fast. A lot of times when jammers are pushing, they push the pack. Jammer made it out again. Toaster Brutal. Seem easy.
Jesse, as somebody who's watching this, they think this sport might be a little easy, but tell them, what is one of the most technical things about this game?
I mean, I think you've been seeing some great examples already. You've seen 2 apex jumps where the skaters are leaving their wheels, and not to mention they're on wheels, moving, getting hit, being able to stay still while on wheels.
We're just getting some great feedback from the comment sections. So keep liking, subscribe, comment, and don't forget to share. Helps a lot.
402, Heidi Ho made it out, but Twiggy's not far behind. We have our packs reforming. Slayer, Chowder, and Moher over take that hit. Get up there, Slayer.
Ooh.
Heidi Ho calls it off before any points were scored by Twiggy. But Twiggy has had some nice runs here. That was smart playing by Heidi Ho.
And there is music here, Jesse. Who does that? No idea? Anyway, you guys want to come watch this live, come to the Snow King Arena. There's live music, snacks. It's a great time.
We have Honey Guns for Butte, Montana, and Miss Maladjusted making it through as lead jam for the Juggernauts. Honey Guns not far behind. Picking up those skates, we have our blockers reforming. Jugs in the front wall. That's a good thing because some jammer on jammer action calls it off.
Wow.
What you'll notice a lot of times too, as those jammers get out and the blockers have a chance to take a moment and recollect themselves, they'll start to reform and put them in positions to be able to catch. Right now we have a timeout being called by Montana, the Copper City Queens. They're going to take a timeout here, recollect themselves, and try and close the gap between that 46 and 19.
Right. And so, how many timeouts are they allowed? Infinite?
There definitely is a limit on the timeouts, so we're making it into our first timeout for the Butte, Montana. You know, there's also penalty limits. You can't have any more than 7 penalties on the team. It's rare, but if you get 7 penalties, you'll actually get escorted out of the building, or you just don't get to play the rest of the game.
No kidding. And what do you have to do to commit a penalty? Is it what you were saying about the behind the back? You can't hit behind the back.
Yeah, so you can't lead with the head. You can't put your head or another person's head in danger. So no head blocks, high blocks, no low blocks. You can't trip someone. You can't elbow someone. Anything where you're like, oh, I probably shouldn't do that to someone, you can't do, except for you can hit them hard on the side and on the chest. We have Halicious Kate, and Toaster Brutal made it out on the outside. She's able to pull everyone in and then pull them out at the same time. Halicious Kate still in that blocker mess with Payne, saved by the melon. Trixie, Titanium holding on. Toaster Brutal.
Jammer here though.
She's coming around. She called it off as that Halicious Kate started coming around. No points scored for Butte, Montana. That's a common tactic for the Juggernauts or in roller derby in general is you want to call off the jam. What you'll see is them touching their hips repeatedly, and that signals to the ref that they're ending the 2-minute jam. So each jam is 2 minutes unless the lead jammer, the jammer who gets out first, calls it off. We have Twiggy who just made a jammer on jammer pass. This is Fleetwood Smack. This is Fleetwood Smack's first ever jam for the Butte, Montana team. We see a lot of debuts for this game. Twiggy and Fleetwood Smack, both first-time jammers. Here we go. Everyone's flying. Twiggy still lead with her first pass at 4 points. Steamer on Fleetwood Mac here. She's holding on. She's holding on until she gets to her teammates for some support. Twiggy made it in on the inside. Still going through. Steamer getting a penalty back into the box. Twiggy coming into that pack.
Copper City Jammer gets called off short.
So Twiggy made around, and she called it off just before Fleetwood Mac could come in and make those points. Really great blocking on both sides. We see everyone moving forward and also holding those jammers. The jammers are doing a good job at spreading out the blockers when they need to. Copper City Queens are coming back on the jammers, sitting on them. You see a couple of those blockers sitting on the Juggernauts.
So this being my second time, there goes. So being my second time beer, a lot of contact, a lot of action, but I could also tell there's a lot of strategy into this game. As you're saying, you have to come in close, you have to cut the corners, and very strong apex.
That was a good apex jump there, but she had to come back around because she got a butt while she was in the air. So what you're going to see is she is going outside. The safest place for a jammer is in the middle because you're not close to those lines, close to getting out.
Right, but I guess what I'm saying is you have to manage between going inside the circle and going outside the circle to, I guess, trip the defenders, right?
Yeah, so part of the strategy is there's a lot of like juking from the jammers. Also what you'll see, and I'll point it out here, is sometimes you'll see some offensive plays where one of your blockers will block and almost screen a defensive player, someone on the opposing team, from being able to hit you. So the strategy really comes from moving around the track and being able to connect with your team and make those holes for your jammer to go through.
Right on, right on. Oh yeah, you could see the triangle on both sides.
Miss Maladjusted, that number 9, is playing support for that tripod. So that's part of a strategy there, is if that Halicious Kate gets out, Miss Maladjusted is going to be there to catch her. Slayer went down. Miss Maladjusted going in. Now she's able to see the track a little bit better. She takes Halicious Kate back. That's another strategy there. You're just burning time now with that Butte, Montana. We have Trixie Titanium with Slayer in for the offense. That's what we're seeing here. Slayer holding those Butte, Montana. 2 of them, 2 opposing. There you go, holding them. Again, Halicious Kate getting taken back. But now our Juggernauts have to spread out to keep that pack definition. So you have to be within 20 feet of the pack. And pack is defined by the most people in an area. So right now, you're looking at the pack, the jammer. Trixie Titanium is going to be coming into it here. So a strategy here that the pack is doing is they're just moving forward. They're making it really hard for Trixie Titanium to get through. She has to skate harder and faster when they're moving forward versus just standing still.
Little by little, I'm understanding this game more and more.
The jammers look at score.
Pretty interesting. I see a lot of the wheels are multicolor. Does that help with anything?
Some of the wheels that you're seeing that are like pink and yellow, those have different hardnesses. So one side is hard and one side is soft, and that just helps. Some people like it for turning purposes. Toast there made it on the outside. She saw that hole and calls it off before Heidi Ho is able to make it through. Both really fast jammers, and both seem very smart on the track. It's just all about who gets lead between those two. What you'll notice when the lead jammer gets out is that they have control of the time, and they also need to be paying attention to what will help their blockers out as well. We We have the blockers here on the Butte, Montana team. They are sitting quite close to those Juggernaut blockers. Slayer making an offensive move for Twiggy. She's holding people out so that Twiggy can take the outside. Fleetwood Mac, again, this is her, I think, second time jamming. Twiggy coming through. She was able to make contact with mow her over and let her know that she was coming on the inside. Mow her over, stood her ground to let Twiggy through. New England Slam Chowder with what we call a Tricky Witch. She's partnered up with Trixie Titanium. That's where it comes in handy to have partners. Notice that the blockers are partnered in two, so they're able to cover more track that way. So if that Fleetwood Mac smack gets out, they're going to be able to catch her.
That's her third time breaking through that defense. And you're saying the run usually lasts 2 minutes if the Juggernaut doesn't call it.
Correct. So I think, so right now we're 30 seconds for this Jam 17. So Twiggy has held on for 1:30. That's a long jam. The longest you can go is 2 minutes, and typically they last like about a minute. So 1:30 is getting there. It definitely feels like a long 2 minutes if you go that far for both jammers and blockers, because you're working hard for 2 minutes, high intensity.
Let's go back to you, Jesse. You're a jammer. What's the longest time you've done?
Well, I think I have had to do a 2-minuter, because a lot of times if there's no lead jam, which is a interesting scenario, then no one can call it off. In practices, I like to go 2 minutes. Here's Toaster Brutal, who taught me everything I know. She made it out of the pack. Coming around. Back in the pack here. Toaster Brutal made it out. There's still a lot happening in the pack. We have our opposing jammer trying to make it out as Payne is still on her. That's Honey Guns. Again, she's been playing for about a year now. We have less than a minute in the first period. There's going to be some fun halftime shenanigans from JH Pride coming up. Be looking to that soon.
81-20. Now that's the lead. Wow, you could just see it in the players' faces. They are exhausted, man.
Trixie made it through on her toe stops on the line. Fancy footwork. Halicious Kate looking for her pivot. She makes it through on the inside as well. Butte, Montana trying to set up, but we have Steamer in there messing things up as offense. And Trixie calling it off after her pass. At this point, into the first half, Butte, Montana would have to pass the Juggernaut 16 times to catch up. That's 16 times with 4 players.
And it seems like we are gonna jump into halftime, right?
Yeah, we're into halftime now, and we're gonna be having a halftime show from JH Pride.
Do you know anything about this halftime show? I have no idea about this.
I don't wanna ruin the surprise.
Right on.
What do you think it is?
Some dancing, maybe some music. I don't know. But if this is your first time here too, like, subscribe, share, comment. All right, all right.
We might need to give our audience a little sneak peek of what's going on.
Well, why don't I just describe this?
Okay.
So, if you guys recall, back in elementary school, we used to play this game, Parachute. And it's this big circle, kind of like a beach ball or something. Reminds me of a beach ball. And you just lift it, and you sit on it, right? Creating a dome or so, creating a parachute. And so that is what's going on.
I have a question for you, Armando. Do you feel like it's a lot smaller than it used to be?
To be quite frank with you, it's actually bigger. Yeah, it's bigger than what I remember.
You think it's bigger?
Well,
I feel like it looks smaller to me. Like, you know, when you're small, you're like everything seems big.
oh, okay. No, that's
Like,
that's
when
what
you
I
were
meant.
oh,
It looks
Yeah.
bigger. Yes, larger. And there's colorful skirts, colorful dresses all over the place.
All right, so I'll let you in on a little secret. The JH Pride, they're going to be having a dance party in this parachute. Inside the parachute. And they are going to be inviting the whole audience down to come join the parachute dance party. And we're going to be flinging some rainbow balls into the air and just playing like we were when we were kids.
There you go. I might have to get in some of the action. I haven't played parachute ever since. Oh, they are seeing it. Okay, so we just got informed that the audience is seeing what is going on stage.
Should we go? Let's go to that camera. Yeah.
You want to either or? I mean, works.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I mean, I think we should get that one.
Jesse likes this one.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I think
Oh,
Josh.
And it's up.
That's gorgeous.
All right, Jesse. Talking about parachute, there used to be another game that I remember playing with one of these.
Okay.
It used to be called Shark.
Oh,
So-
yeah. Okay.
So out there in the audience, you would put there it is. There's the parachute.
Woo!
So are they having the dance party in there? We obviously don't have footage of the dance party.
I think there's a dance party going on in there. But what we don't know won't hurt us.
Oh, and here comes the crowd. There they are.
Everyone joining in on the fun.
You wanna chink? We could. You wanna take a seat here? I mean, he hasn't changed anything.
It's you. Oh, wow.
Space?
Just it's easier with a mouse.
Oh wow. There is about 20 people playing parachute. Up,
We'll do a workshop on this if you
down, and
I'd love to have more
up,
people
up,
down
up,
there.
up, up. Oh,
Well, I probably have it set up to and I've been working with shortcuts, but every time you change something, you sort of jump around.
everyone is having fun watching the parachute. Oh, no, that was a fail. That was such a fail. So, Jesse, this looks like a pretty sad parachute.
I know, they need some helium up in there.
Looks great on camera.
They need some dancing to get some hot air going.
It looks better on camera than it does in real life.
Look at those kids. Oh, this was my favorite part.
Oh, there.
Oh, yeah. Look at those. That looks like a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's like popcorn. That's what we would call it. So what's your last memory of the parachute?
Just,
You get it?
Yeah. Was it gym class?
it was gym class. Last memory of the parachute, I mean, just parachuting away, sitting on
Go ahead.
my bum and watching the dome.
So Armando,
we're-
you grew up in Jackson.
Hold on, give me 1 second, Jesse. Keep that in mind.
You hear it on.
Hello, hello.
On Monday?
I hear it on mine. Maybe we have to get the master up a little more. All right, Jesse. Sorry to cut you off. Oh, sorry to cut you off there. What were you saying?
So you grew up in Jackson. So you played popcorn parachute in Jackson, right?
Yeah, actually, at the JES, I believe that's what it's called. I was in. I don't know if you knew this, Jesse, but there used to be an old elementary school, and that got. I was lucky enough to do kindergarten, first year, in that old school. This was way back, and then they made that new school, the 2-story JES, the one that everyone knows nowadays. And I was lucky enough to do 1 year in that. That was my second grade year, and that's where I recall this.
Okay.
In that school, that was a brand new school, and I had to take it out for a ride, to be honest.
So was it gym? You said gym class, right? Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. My last memory was Avery Parsons Elementary School down in Buena Vista, Colorado. Coach Kreitz, at the time, he had, it was the best place to go. I'm pretty sure I peed my pants on parachute day. But sometimes you gotta just have a little embarrassment so you're a little tougher when you become an adult.
Oh yeah. Getting out of your comfort zone and balls. We got some balls here. And as I was mentioning to you, Jesse, another game that I loved as a kid was called Sharks.
Ooh.
And so what you did was you kind of wore it as a blanket on your waist,
Uh-huh.
and you'd kind of you make some waves with it, right? And you had 2 people in the middle, like grabbing you, right? Do I call this right?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, whoop.
Yeah, I definitely played that game and then you became the shark.
And then yes.
Yeah. And you had to wave it around you so that you didn't know where the shark was coming. Yeah. So I played another game also called Shark, and it was on the trampoline. You actually had a water hose, and you were underneath the trampoline with the water hose, and everyone on top of the trampoline was running around trying not to get sprayed by the shark.
Well, that sounds dangerous, but no. Growing up, I don't think I had a trampoline. So would never played that game.
I do feel like trampolines are less common here.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Friends and whatnot had trampolines, but me personally, I'm not the type of person.
Insurance liability.
That's a dangerous sport too. Guys, please go follow the Juggernauts on Instagram at JH_Juggernauts. And in that, you can click the link on where we are live streaming. That way you can like, share, comment, do all that fun stuff.
And if you want to find out more about the Jackson Hole Juggernauts, you can go to www.jhjrd.com and you can learn more about us there. On there we have ways to get involved, ways to start skating on the team. We also have ways to volunteer to be a part of our parachute dance parties and be a part of everything that goes into making this happen. We're giving a big shout out to our sponsors, starting with Teton Tiger. What a good place to go get some curry. Annie's, where we'll be doing our after party. Pad Thai is the place to go. 98 Electric has been a part of this community since 2001. CarQuest, check out Andy and Marie, and they'll get your car running smoothly. Domino's, thank you for donating that pizza for tonight's bout. Eleanor's, the last hidden gem. What a beautiful place behind a liquor store. Frank's, the closest thing to a New York bodega. And Glorietta's, the place that has wood fire cooking and home handmade noodles. King Sushi, Claire works there. She's on the team. And State Farm for
keeping us insured.
All right, we have Cleveland Steamer. Toaster Brutal. Twiggy Stardust, who's been jamming for us. New England Slam Chowder. Destroyer on the scoreboard today and also refs for us. Dragon Slayer, second year. She's the one with the horns if you see that helmet. Malice in Wonderland.
Makes sense.
Wonderful. That's me, Misdemeanor. Not playing today, but I will be soon. Mow her over, and she lives up to her name, for sure. Patty Whack, give that dog a bone. Pinot Grigio, she just graduated with a master's, and we're all proud of her. We're proud of the success. Frida Prowl, she is the mother of the team, holds us together. Rose Cuervo, she is an expert baker and also expert blocker. Knight in Shining, harm her. She is just shiny. And Club Slamwich, we have her out there. Cleveland Steamer is our vice president, and she does an amazing job making everything run smoothly. Her and Chowder are both the Chowder president, and Cleveland Steamer is the vice president, and they run our meetings. They help make sure we're on schedule for the bout season. They help make sure everyone is doing fundraising. So if you ever do want to donate to the Jugs, we are a 501(c)(3), and so it's a tax write-off. And yeah,
please support, man. This means so much to us. if we could keep bringing this content to you guys, and the Juggernauts love us. This is what it's all about. It's the whole community coming out here, doing what we like, passionate about what we like.
Big shout out also to Dusty Dog Media for putting this on for the live streamers who are out there watching. We're so thankful to be able to bring this to your home and hopefully your friends and family of the Juggernauts or the Butte, Montana, Copper City Queens. We're thankful for Dusty Dog Media for donating their time to be willing to do this live stream.
So that was halftime, Jesse. What can we expect from the second?
It's always it could be a surprise. Last game we were ahead almost double the points, and the last 15 seconds the other team came into a three-point differential. So what that means for us is we almost lost. We actually went into overtime, and I was in the penalty box on that. So coming out of the penalty box, I was not lead jammer. And thankfully, the blockers, they were incredible. They held that jammer, didn't let her score any points, and the time struck 0, and we were able to make it out with a win. It was a really exciting game, but that just goes to show we don't know what to expect in the second half. But my hope is the Jugs hold strong, but I also hope that there's just a lot of camaraderie between the two teams. Toaster Brutal already out. She made it through the middle this time. Halicious Kate knocked down by Miss Maladjusted, taken back to burn some time and burn some energy off of Halicious Kate. Toaster Brutal taking those hits.
Like a champ. It's going to be her third time. And she made it out clean.
So right now you see Toaster Brutal coming up behind Halicious Kate. And there's a potential she could call it off, or she could get up to Halicious Kate and start making some plays on her.
Ooh, big collision.
Toaster Brutal was knocked down in that one. She was able to call off the jam from outside.
Is there a reason why it's a little darker than everything else?
I think the light's changing a little bit. They're not completely optimized. Occasionally I'm pulling them up a little bit.
Heidi Ho and Twiggy on the jam line. We have Miss Maladjusted, Cleveland Steamer, and Chowder holding on to Heidi Ho. Twiggy made it out with some help from Mow Her Over as the offense. Mow Her Over standing her ground, but the offense from Butte, Montana made it through. Twiggy coming in for her second round to score those points.
Gets knocked down.
Going down with the blockers. Going down again, and she's trying to make it out. Heidi Ho has made it to the penalty box, which means Twiggy has an advantage here. So there's going to be a portion of Heidi Ho's time is going to be spent sitting in the penalty box, and as soon as she stands, Twiggy might call it off so that she stays in the penalty box for this next jam. So that's a strategy there, is just knowing where that jammer is in the penalty box time. All right, Heidi Ho is back in. Twiggy has the opportunity to call it off before she scores any points. She hasn't made it through. Heidi Ho hasn't as her initial, so there's potential that Twiggy makes those points.
She did, and she did.
And she did. Still, Heidi Ho is behind the pack. Hasn't made it through her initial pass, so she can't score points yet. Twiggy coming in as Butte, Montana reforms. Knocks her out and takes her back. She's burning some steam there. Already a long jam. We're at 5 seconds to the finish. 2. And that's a full 2-minute jam. Twiggy has made a full 2-minute jam. And she has increased the points. I think that might have been, was that 4 passes? That might have been 20 points.
I saw the ref with her hand up doing number 4.
Yeah, so that right there was a 17-point jam. Or sorry, that was a 20-point jam right there from Twiggy.
Oh, one is beautiful. That's great, man. I like the size.
Toaster Brutal making it through the middle. Trixie Titanium trying to catch Halicious Kate, but she jumps over Trixie Titanium's block. Toaster Brutal coming in, calling it off before Halicious Kate can make it through. Amazing job by Halicious Kate. I hear she's the baby of the team and fearless, and that was definitely shown in that last play where she jumped over Trixie Titanium. She didn't avoid it, she just jumped right over it. Chowder, New England Clam Chowder. She's in. She made it back. She's coming in with Miss Mel adjusted as her offense, making a room for her, and she stays in. Oh, there she goes. New England Slam Chowder has lead with Fleetwood Smack taking off her panty to hand it to her pivot. So this is a strategic play. She's trying to hand it to that 719 Whiskey Bee. Whiskey Bee has caught the panty and is now making it out. New England Slam Chowder has a decision here to make. Does she want to call it off or does she want to catch up to Whiskey Bee? She decided to call it off there, which is a strategy just to make sure the other team doesn't make any points.
And it seems like they're calling timeout.
All right, it looks like an official review, and I'm unsure who called the official review, but what we're seeing right now is the refs and the captains are actually talking. So we have our captains, Paddywhack and Chowder, New England Slam Chowder. And then on the other team, we have Case Closed and Honey Guns. So those are our 2 captains. They're talking to Frida Prowl, unsure what the verdict is going to be, unsure what's in question.
Josh, I'm sending you a student. I want you to teach her everything you know.
So the official review is either for a back block or a push. An illegal contact is what they're trying to review here. So now the refs are convening and they're going to decide.
And that is one of the prohibited hits that we were talking about earlier, right? The on the back, you can't hit anywhere.
Exactly, yeah. So if there's an egregious hit, we want to make sure that we're keeping everyone safe. This is, although it is like a rough and aggressive sport, we want to make sure everyone is safe and is able to play for the next game. So after that official review, Miss Maladjusted is now in the box, who committed the crime. So she's in the sin bin. So even though you can end that jam without someone in the penalty box, after an official review, if someone is found guilty, they get sent to the penalty box and have to serve time. So right now, the Juggernauts are starting with one less blocker. So they're at a disadvantage. But let's see if they can hold on to this Butte, Montana queen with the 3 blockers here.
So the foul was committed by the Jackson Juggernauts.
Correct. Yeah, so the foul is committed by Jackson Juggernauts. We have Toaster Brutal. She played a little defense there to help out the blockers. And that was a hard hit on Toaster Brutal, allowing Honey Guns to make it out. And they're definitely playing aggressive now off the line. Honey Guns making it in for the second round. Can the Juggernauts hold her?
And second round right here.
Second round down. Toaster Brutal had to take off her helmet cover and send it over to Trixie Titanium to stop the bleeding. Miss Maladjusted was able to come back in. She finished her time in the penalty box. Made a great effort, knocked out Honey Guns, but ultimately Juggernauts did not score any points on that round, and Butte, Montana was able to take advantage of the 3-wall and the penalty.
So how long is this penalty going to last for Montana?
Well, so Miss Maladjusted already came back in. So now we're back to our original 4 blockers. So that's what you want to have, is you want to have 4 blockers, as many people on the track as possible. Right now, you can tell, like, there's usually 2 people that are really in contact with the jammer. And then as you start moving forward, you see Halicious Kate made it out. She was able to spread out the Jackson Juggernauts defense. Still, Jackson Juggernauts are up 128-31. Hard hit from Saved by the Mel. Twiggy made it out. Can she make some points without Halicious Kate seen? Both very young jammers, and both very smart. You can tell that they're very track aware and able to make some moves. Halicious Kate makes that jump. Another dedication to her fearless description that has been given by the bench coach, Brawley Wood.
That jump was insane, guys.
Loading back up here. We have Heidi Ho and Steamer. Cleveland Steamer makes it out. Not lead jam. Heidi Ho's lead jammer coming around to the reforming wall. Coming around on the outside. New England Slam Chowder holds on.
They're all going.
Lighting up. Yeah. Can you turn it up on the
On the track, we have Miss Maladjusted coming into jam for the Juggernauts and Fleetwood Smack for the Copper City Queens. She makes it out on the outside, but she was knocked out, so she's going back around. Miss Maladjusted knocked out, but gets in quick. She's being held by the Copper City Queens. Big hit from Copper City Queens to Toaster Brutal. That was Fried Cracker with the big hit. Whiskey B, as the pivot, took the panty and is now the point scorer for the Copper City Queens. Miss Maladjustment calls off the jam before Whiskey B can even make it to score points. Honey Guns and Saved by the Mel are up on the jam line. For the Jugs blockers, we have Cleveland Steamer, Twiggy, Trixie Titanium, and New England Slam Chowder. We have Trixie Titanium in a position to play good offensive blocking or to catch that jammer if they decide to go to either side. Twiggy holding strong with that blocking. But Honey Guns is able to make it out on the inside. The Jugs are starting to play offense and think about starting to hand the panty pass. Trixie Titanium setting up for...
She's good. Is she good? No, she had to go back.
She has to come back. Trixie Titanium burning off that energy from Honey Guns. She tried for that apex jump, but she couldn't quite get it without getting knocked out, but she's still in good position, Honey Guns is.
Yeah, those apex jumps really take a lot from you, huh, Jesse?
I mean, they take balance, they take strength in your legs, and we've been seeing a lot of them, and just jumping, coming off your wheels. We've been seeing a lot of athleticism out there tonight, which is amazing to see, and a lot of the skaters out here don't always come from a sports background, and so this is sometimes the first sport they're ever a part of. So to see everyone out there using their strength and their natural athleticism is amazing to see that come out. Toaster Brutal coming in here. She's pushing that Copper City Queens. Big hits.
Ooh, she broke through. Montana just got a penalty.
That's Hanny Oakley, and she is going in to the penalty box, down a blocker. Cleveland Steamer setting up for offense. And Toaster Brutal stays strong. Miss Maladjusted goes down. Oh gosh. Halicious Kate. Halicious Kate with a back block. She's going to the penalty box. Now, Toaster Brutal has a power jam advantage right now. She's the only jammer in here, so she can, if she wants to, she can play hard, get all the points she wants, and call it off before Halicious Kate gets back in. She makes it back around with ease. The Jackson Hole Juggernaut blockers are going into position to play offense. You'll see when Toaster Brutal comes around, she might make eyes at someone. Still in. Jammer is standing. Halicious Kate is standing here, and Toaster Brutal has an opportunity to let her in, and she does. An apex jump keeps it easy. Miss Maladjusted makes Halicious Kate go all the way back. Sometimes it's a disadvantage, though, because you don't want to be too spread out when that jammer has speed. You want to be collected in a wall as blockers.
And that, too, was a 2-minute jam. Wow, impressive.
Heidi Ho makes it out first. Twiggy is with Malicious Motherload, who is a strong player. She's been with the Butte team for 11 years.
Oh, wow, 11 years. Montana's seems to be in the lead for the Jammers. Juggernauts are not far behind.
Twiggy coming in from behind. She doesn't quite make it to make some points, but she was right there. Heidi Ho was able to make it through a couple times there. We have Payne and Fleetwood Smack on the jam line. We have an interesting configuration here. You'll notice Miss Mel Adjusted is in the back. She's away from the Jackson Hole Juggernaut. She's going to catch that jammer if it gets through. And she sure did. And Malicious Motherload is laying on the heat on Miss Mel Adjusted. Holding on to that Fleetwood Smack, Miss Mel Adjusted. Now Miss Mel Adjusted takes her back as Payne comes in for her second score. At 79, Payne made it through. Look at her go, making it around. Unbothered. As Payne comes in, you'll notice she'll get low and she'll start to control her speed and make some decisions.
She's in.
She made it through and called it off. She only got 3 points there. She missed the last one. You're definitely starting to see a lot more like aggressive hits on both sides. We have a timeout here. So for each team during the bouts, they each get a 3-minute timeout, or 3 timeouts per game at 60 seconds long. So we're now, a lot of times the timeouts are just used to like get the energy up and just give people a break, because there's been a lot of like high intensity moves out there. So it's a good place just to recollect. Now back on the track, the next whistle starts the next jam.
That could be pretty cool.
You want to learn anything, man, that's the best way to do it, is to try to
So on the track, we have Toaster Brutal and Dino Smack. Dino Smack, this is her first ever bout playing, and she's jamming here. Toaster Brutal made it out. Going around. Dino Smack able to make that pass to the pivot with the stripe. That's Hanny Oakley. Hanny Oakley going around is going to try and make some points for the Copper City Queens. Toaster Brutal coming around. She calls it off right before Hanny Oakley is able to get any points. What a tease.
It must be so frustrating for Montana, right? Always being behind the Jackson Juggernauts and not being able to score.
Well, you definitely see them ahead a couple times, but I guess the most frustrating thing that you do see is if they're not lead jam, that Jackson Hole Juggernaut is waiting to the very last moment to call that jam. So just when it's in reach to score some points, they call off that jam and take away the opportunity. There's Slayer making it around on the outside. We have Cleveland Steamer holding on to Honey Guns. Everyone's reforming here. The the Jackson Juggernauts are able to make an offensive move. Oh, and that was...
Calls it.
Oh, shoot. So there is a lot happening here. Slayer is the lead.
But Jackson could still call it off because Jackson has the lead, right? Or did they switch lead?
No, so the lead, it stays as it is for that 2-minute jam. So Slayer is lead. She has the opportunity to call it off, but she may not want to. She may just want to go in there and get some more points or just play around, you know? So right now she used Honey Guns to get through. She could call it off now and be ahead of Honey Guns. Making some smart plays. She actually used Honey Guns as a deep decoy to get through Honey Guns' wall. On the inside, Slayer makes it through seamlessly with that offensive wall from the Juggernauts.
There comes.
Honey Guns makes it through, but there's neck and neck. If Slayer makes it through for this, she'll be ahead in points. We're at 20 seconds left in this jam. Slayer just wants to play, it seems like. She has had many opportunities to call it off while ahead. But again, Honey Guns is gonna get those points and be neck and neck with her. She still is ahead though. Oh, she calls it off.
That was a great play by both teams. A lot of stamina used.
She calls it off just shy of the 2 minutes. You could tell she just wanted to play out there, and she was making great moves inside and out. And even though there was a moment when she was behind Honey Guns after making lead, she still got that lead back and was able to continue to hold on to it.
Yeah, really impressive from the Jackson side. Really giving it their all.
Heidi Ho, Trixie Titanium still on her. She has to drop that contact if she makes it out 20 feet from the pack. So Trixie Titanium had to do that. Twiggy back in. She's taking off that panty, looking for Trixie Titanium as Heidi Ho makes it around for her first point scoring pass. Miss Maladjusted takes her down and takes her back 20 feet. Twiggy didn't have to make that panty pass. She goes ahead and she just goes. She's about to make that point scoring pass. But Heidi Ho did the trick where she lets Twiggy have just a taste of the opportunity and then took it away. She called off the jam before Twiggy could make any points. Armando, what do you think?
I think this is great, man.
What are you seeing out there in terms of like where you see like some strengths on both teams?
I mean, both teams, you've seen it if you've stuck around long enough. Both teams are very passionate with their play style. And obviously, both teams want the W.
On that, Toaster Brutal made it out, but she had a little help from 79 Payne. The skater helped push her through, made that hole. Toaster Brutal hits that wall and hits it with some ferocity, making it through and taking some people down in the process.
Heavy hits on both sides. Ooh.
Dang. Tried for that apex jump and didn't quite get the footing, but she absolutely is going for it and is still passionate. She still makes some good footwork there. She might be sore after that one, but she has good knee pads. I know that. They're 5-inch thick, I believe. She has a story about her first season, Toaster Brutal. She went for a rock star slide where she went to both knees really quick with thin knee pads, and never again will she not wear her 5-inch thick knee pads. Right now we have a little powwow going on between our lovely Juggernauts and Copper City Queens. They're just hanging out, talking through the plays as the refs are taping the track.
Both teams showing off their dance moves.
It's an important reminder we can't forget. This is all about fun. We all just joined this for a little relief from our day jobs, or there's a lot of moms out here that they get to go to sports practice after dropping their kids off. So it's always about fun and being a part of a team. Miss Maladjusted going in for the offense from the outside, pushing in. Slayer goes out. All right, we see a panty on the ground. Slayer coming through. We have Halicious Kate coming back to take that panty pass. So now Halicious Kate, the pivot, is now the jammer because she has that panty. And she can't pass that back. She now has that indefinitely. She can't pass it back to the jammer. So only one panty pass is allowed during a jam per team.
She made it out.
She made it out.
And Jackson not far behind her.
So even though Halicious Kate, she made it out first, what a big hit, flying through the air. That must have hurt. You see her slow down a little bit. So even though Halicious Kate made it out first before Dragon Slayer, she's not able to gain that lead jam because she is a pivot and the jammer took off her panty, relinquishing the rights to lead jam. Dragon Slayer coming in. Miss Maladjusted is just burning energy off of Halicious Kate. She's tired, I'm sure, after those big hits so far.
Yeah, so as you can tell, this is the part where the players, that was a 2-minute jam.
Yeah, you can tell that 2-minute jam got to everyone. You see some weak legs out there, people starting to lose balance a little easier. Yeah, you get tired in those 2-minute jams, and you saw hit after hit. You'd be tired too, I'm sure. Armando, would you do it? Would you play?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to double think about that.
Okay, theoretically, if you played, what position would you play?
I mean, I think I'd be a Juggernaut, or not a Juggernaut, a jammer. A jammer.
You want to be like the bowling pin going to hit all the pins.
Exactly.
But the pins don't move.
What about you? What are some fun things you like to do out here, Jesse?
Oh, I mean, I think it is really hard for me to watch because I just want to be out there playing too. But it's so fun to make it through the other wall. But one of my favorite things is when you connect with the blocker and the blocker does some offense for you. So they like create some mind games on the track, and they're able to move the opposing blockers out of your way. Great reforming from our Jackson Hole Juggernauts.
Penalty by Montana. Going to the penalty box. Although they do have the jam in the lead. That's what Montana has. Jackson's still nowhere to see.
So the Jackson Hole Jammer is mow her over. She's going to pass it to Trixie, but she decides not to because she can make it through. She's in better position than Trixie Titanium, the pivot.
2 players from Montana are in the penalty box, and it is a blocker and the jammer.
Right now, we have no lead jam. We have mow her over, who took off her star, which relinquishes her right to lead jam. And we have the jammer in the penalty box. So even if she was lead jam, she now no longer has it because she committed a penalty. So no lead jam. That means we're going for a full 2 minutes, Armando.
40 seconds to go.
Heidi Ho back in. Again, no lead jam.
So there's no calling it.
No calling it, not even if you get tired.
Wow, it looks like Montana is giving it their all.
Heidi Ho tried to pull a truck and trailer whip it move with one of her blockers. Trixie Titanium knocking her out and having to take her back, burning off some more energy to finish out the 2-minute jam right now ended. Heidi Ho over there checking a skate out. Unsure. She might have to remove some hardware. If anything falls off in a game, you can keep playing as long as it's not in the track. I once had a toe stop fall off and kept playing. I need my toe stops. Here we go. Cleveland Steamer is jamming. She has to go all the way back. Fleetwood Smack being held by New England Slam Chowder. Saved by the Mel. Cleveland Steamer, Jackson's whole Juggernaut made it out as lead jam.
And here she comes for round 2. Very strategic about the way she goes in. But unfortunately, okay, she made it through again. And Montana cannot catch a break, man. These girls have been giving it their all. But Jackson just keeps on slipping away.
From the bench, you hear Copper City Queens yelling, "Take the panty off." So Fleetwood Smack passes it to her pivot to stop the bleeding. Stop the bleeding. That is Jackson Hole Juggernaut scoring.
Taking a knee. I don't know. Did someone get hurt?
Can we cut?
Yeah, someone got hurt. Can you put the...
Oh, good.
All right. It seems like there was an injury.
Someone went down, but they're back up. We have volunteer medics here that if there is any injuries, they will go out there and they'll check on everyone, do a full body check to make sure nothing's broken or even to get them the help that they need. So thank you to our medical team.
Good.
The refs getting the audience going, bringing the heat. That's exciting.
The crowd is getting rowdy.
Jackson Hole Pride with the progress flag. So that is the game. The unofficial score is 226 to 83. Jackson Hole Juggernauts won. What do you think?
So Copper City down in Bozeman, down in Montana, that's a 4-hour drive. Wow. Thanks everyone that came out here for supporting the Queens.
Yeah, big thanks to the Copper City Queens for coming down here, and it's been a great time. We're excited to be able to continue relationships with states that surround Wyoming.
Yeah, and if you're interested at all, come join the team. Very passionate, very loving, very caring team.
And check out JHJRD. That is Jackson Hole Juggernauts Roller Derby.com. Big support from both teams. The funnest thing about roller derby is you're just playing with your friends. A lot of these people, they'll come and play for us when we're short players. Again, on the Jackson Hole Juggernauts, we had Trixie Titanium, Miss Mel Adjusted, Saved by the Mel, and also we had Pain 79. Thank you, everyone.
Good deal. Hannah, can you get me back here? Get behind that.
Yeah, so thanks everyone for making this possible.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is, we want to introduce our backstage, our producers of Dusty Dog Media. This is Hannah, and we thank everything that you do.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. It's good to be here.
Good night, everyone, and thank you for watching.
Yeah, thank you. Please stay tuned. Don't forget to like, subscribe. I know it's a little late to share, but